in the streets, pulling stunts like a Knievel. Full speed to that root of all evil. Good nigga, but the streets turned us evil.
Yep. Hit that like button, thumb up the video, support the channel. Shout out to my brother Simple Amazing, man. That was some fire music, bro. Like I said earlier, I know you didn't want to answer my question, Simp. Nigga, when can I get the official bout song, man? I need a song particular, what they call them, jingles, nigga. You gonna create a bout jingle, my nigga? I need a custom made one, my nigga. Hey, Little Shoulders in the building. What's the word, fam?
Chillin', what they do.
I can't call it. Copper Cow.
Yo.
Kyle, what's the word, gang?
Hey, nothing much.
Man, good to see you in here with us, bro. All is well. So how y'all brothers feel about the conversation me and Smoke was having?
I feel like you're touching on what I've been saying. That Bible is a beast that made the white man's body type, genetical profile, and it's a lesser model than the original prototype.
I actually want to build on that too, because if we're talking about that the Americas at some point in history, I'm not really clear on the timeline for this, but if we basically created a satellite colony in what we call Europe today, and there either were indigenous Europeans there, probably the ancient Britons, like the Britons, or it was an empty landmass, because I do think about population distribution, like you brought up earlier, Ab Power. Like maybe there were places around the world. There's no way everybody was everywhere. There could have been empty spots.
That's true. So, all right, let's just deal with the Black Britons, right? I'm saying if Americans was the first people in that land, they're the original people of that land. Still.
Oh, you're saying that. So in a sense,
so what you would call a Carthaginian, what you would call an ancient Briton, what you would call a Novatic German, you see what I'm saying? Or just later on titles.
Oh, I can see
like
that.
The original Romans wouldn't have been originally Rome. These black people that you saying? The Macedonians ain't really Macedonians. The Phoenicians ain't really Phoenicians. These are just another names after generations and waves and eras come about.
Wait, so do you think this could connect to what Benjamin Franklin was saying in 1751 about, it was in his essay, Observations Concerning the Increase of Mankind, and he was basically talking about how like white people were like such a small portion of the world's population. They were like, why should America, where they had just settled in when they came in as slaves, why should we
got that letter
work in our
somewhere
region like the rest of the planet?
Yeah, I got that letter somewhere in my archives. But and that's later on in the 1800s.
Do you have an idea of timeline-wise when Americas could have made that colony out towards, I guess, what we're calling like the modern?
Okay, let's say I think me and Smoke agree, right? Smoke, do we agree on the initial time period that we would have left Americas? Do we agree on the 12,500 or the 11,500, give or take?
I'm not bound to the particular time frame. I'm just saying, if that type of event were to transpire, it would have necessitated that type of travel. Whether it was 11,000 years ago.
Well, the brother just trying to get a time frame because there's allegedly so-called Black Brits and Black people in these areas. So we're trying to get a timeline. Either is this happening right before, during, after, or before?
After.
I'm gonna say this. Well, yeah, if the Brits, I'm gonna say that all that came afterwards. So I'm saying that this shit happened roughly around 12,000 years ago. The little homie left out. I don't know if Smoke booted him.
No, I didn't do nothing.
Sometimes your internet kick you out. Yeah, come back in.
There you go, AP.
Oh, okay. He began.
Yeah, I got disconnected. I came
Yeah,
back.
so I'm gonna go with the 11,000, 12,000 year frame, give or take.
Okay, so if we go with that, I think that gives us plenty of enough time for us to. Well, okay, that's what messes me up, because even regardless of timeline, it still brings the question up to me that I'm not clear on. Where did white people come from? Like, is it
Where who come from? White people?
Like a mutation or something from the new environment of Europe, with it being colder and whatnot, so they wouldn't need melanin, or is that not even true? This idea that our phenotype.
That's actually a really good question, and I teeter-tot between some of my theories on this and hypotheses. But before I get into maybe one or two of those, I will allow some of the other brothers to briefly answer that question. Where do y'all think white people come from?
I'm with you, Bab. I'm teeter-tottering because it's truly unclear. But when I look at that blood type haplo evidence, it's clear to me there was an original people and there was a mutation of the gene. They don't know where or how, but they can see it based on the proteins, on your antigens, all that old shit. So I'm like, well, damn, if we can figure out what the fuck caused that, how that happened, maybe we can get an answer to how these Asians and Mongoloids, these other haplotypes come to the earth. They claim it's 70,000 years ago it happened, but you know.
Ooh, could I speak on that real quick? Actually, I just
remembered something
I said a while ago. I made a comment. It was a random Instagram post, and basically someone not invented or whatever. It was a little magnetic strip for white people that you would put on your nose, and it'd make their nostrils flare out to look like our noses, so that they could breathe easier when they're skiing. I remembered I had a source, and I can't remember which book I got it from, but I think it had something to do with Dr. Muhammad Ali, his stuff. But I told him, I said, this is why melanated folks have the wider nostrils that are often caricatured. Its function is simple: larger air intake, better respiratory function, and thus an evolutionarily efficient aerobic performance. But it's neat that there are products that biomimic this function for those with a more narrow nose bridge, ones that originated from an evolutionary need to protect the body from inhaling fine particulates, namely sulfur. So I was quoting, I have 3 scientific studies that was basically saying that white people came from a mutation of us that came from what was called the Lake Toba catastrophe, which was a super volcano that exploded near India or Hindustan.
I want to get into one of my hypotheses.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to hear that.
That's interesting, though. I would like to hear more on that.
I like that.
Because right now the volcano.
I believe that the advanced people of America created white people 100,000 years ago.
That sounds like Yakub's story, though.
I'm thinking maybe that's a folklore, word of mouth transmission of maybe some cataclysm that happened, but because we were around before, the people that were created.
The Yakub story is talking about the great scientist that was in Peru that they called the Yakubatan. The Yakubatan. It's talking about a geographical location, not an actual person. Yakub ain't a person, it's a location.
I got what you're saying.
They're talking about the Yucatan.
Yeah, the NOI something different though. They teach it the 12.
I ain't no NOI, nigga. I ain't no Muslim, nigga. So now listen. I'm saying they created these people about 100,000 years ago, bro. And not only did we create white people, we created all these other races that you really or ambiguously don't know their history. The Asian people you see today, the East Indian you see today, and some African groups that you see today.
Explain some of the reasons you believe this theory, or you lean towards this theory.
Well, I believe when we look at the science and when we look at the genetic makeup of these people, most of these people are spliced up between multiple different things. And when you look at genetic mutations that will occur in genetic altering, there will be mishaps. And a lot of these other races have these mishaps. The leading ones being the East Indians. aka the Caucasian Asians.
I ain't gonna lie. Every time I read a story about alien abduction, it's always the white man. 99% of them.
That's not true. One of the first alien encounters that happened, I forget the family. It was a white lady and a black man that was abducted.
I ain't saying no black people ever. I said 99%.
One of the first ones ever recorded was a white lady and a black man that was a couple.
I got what you're saying, but 99% of the cases are white people.
So what are you saying with that? Are you saying that these abduction
something above could have created these folks, and they still manipulating their DNA?
Man, you talk about you ain't seen nobody above us.
Yeah, hold on. Can I build on what Ab Power said originally with Pan and the connection with
You want to go to aliens so bad, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to go so bad.
Bro is saying.
I don't see why a black man would create a white man.
Hey, can you cut your mic up, Copper? Your mic a little low, bro.
I got him. All you got to do is speak. I cut him up. I'll turn him up. Go ahead, Copper. Go ahead. You can build on what I was talking about earlier. You got the flow.
I didn't know. You brought up the word Pan. Well, first, I didn't know the Yakubian thing was linked to Peru, because now that fills in some gaps, because remember, so it was the Incans that's linked to Peru, right?
Right. The Inca, the ancient Moshe, the people who created Corral Supe.
Okay, so then I already know, you're probably aware of how the Incans had such a strong food storage science. They had basically what they call them vertical archipelagos. They had their food science to a science where basically they had it designed to where they could grow potatoes at different altitudes. It was like a upside down cone.
They built like
a grow different types to prevent famine.
Yeah.
I say that to say, if they were already figuring out how to make different genetic varieties of foodstuffs, that's not that big of a jump to figure out how to do that with biology and basically create like an early form of CRISPR.
Those same people, Brother Khan, also had a huge genetic breakthrough a few thousand years before that with maize, turning it into what we call corn today, and it went through various different genetic alterations. The first genetically modified foods that still exist today. So we know that they were very advanced when it comes to scientific genetic alterations just with plants alone. So to think that they wouldn't have experimented outside of plants, that's crazy. Even in school, when you got to dissect something, at least in my school, they gave us like a lima bean to dissect first. Like we dissected a freaking lima bean in school, like elementary. You know what I'm saying? They advanced up to other things. Eventually,
the only thing that we got to also add to that Incan story, that this might be some cap too, that they was even advanced first, because they went and invaded the people who were already there, who already built the structures, who were already living this sort of lifestyle, and the Inca invaded them and took over their shit. They are called the Chang'an.
No, the Inca didn't invade nobody.
No. I think the Incans were indigenous, because there's a book in the 13th century that says that Peru and Mexico got invaded by
they wasn't indigenous. I'm not saying they
weren't. As a matter of fact, the Incas had some of the most prestige building of brick masonry.
Yeah, there was somebody there before them, and the Inca tell you they didn't build the buildings.
That's not true. The Incas got their They got their own masonry that's dedicated strictly towards Inca. That's called cellular stone masonry.
It's not the megalithic stone building.
That's exactly what it is. The megalithic stone.
No. You're talking about the
The Inca style building is. Hold on one second. The Inca style building is more smaller, compact type stuff that's on top of the megalithic structure.
No. I'm
not saying. Listen, hold on. I'm not denying that the Inca had power, and I'm not denying that they didn't have technology, and I'm not saying that they weren't indigenous. I'm saying, look into it. You'll see the areas that they go into, Peru and all to the west coast of
Can you drop a source?
Yeah, I will. And there was already a people there called the Chang'an.
Right now, so we can pull it up, because I'm about to pull my source up, showing you that these built huge stone bricks, and they had a particular style called stone masonry. And the Incas is credited for that. I'm gonna show you right now. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
I'm about to learn something new.
Yeah, we gotta get to that. 'Cause I never heard that, Cosmo. You might got something new for me. Real shit. And I want to just make this a learning lesson for the people that's in here too, as well, since we are in an open panel. Shout out to everybody that's in the building too, man. We do appreciate y'all for coming on up in here. Damn, where my books? I'm on my other computer. Oh, give me 2 seconds, y'all. My bad. Trying to get to it. Let's go to some Inca stone masonry right here. All right, so we're gonna pull up the first source. It's from the American Indian Encyclopedia. Of course, you guys. And this particular image is from the Library of Congress. So let's highlight that so you guys can have a understanding. All right. So it said Inca stone masons used a technique called cellular stonework. This involving carving blocks into polygons and setting them into they interlock. They cut the stones with such precision that it's impossible to put a blade through them today. And here goes the image of these bricks from the exact photo in the Library of Congress, credited as Inca stone masonry. These are huge stones, huge bricks.
Peace, Bap. Let me ask you a question though. Do you think they call themselves Inca?
No, but it doesn't really matter. We're just using an identifying marker. That's like, did they call themselves black or did they call themselves Aboriginal? You know what I'm saying? We don't know what they understand in the terms that they actually use to identify themselves during those current times. But we know, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's really irrelevant to what they call themselves. But I think as long as we know exactly who we're talking about, we good. But I mean, I would like to know what they call it. I'm not saying it's irrelevant. We shouldn't figure out. But
let me show you this, Bap. Let's just look up first things first. Were the Chanca in South America before the Inca?
Can you drop that in the back for me?
No, I'm about to show you. I'm about to bring it up on the screen so we can all look at it. You know what I mean? And we can pull it up and stuff. Just a simple question, right? Just a simple question. Do the Chanca predate the Inca in South America? Yes, the Chanca people did predate the Inca in South America, specifically in the Andes region of Peru. The Chanca culture is believed, this is just what they believe, to have emerged around 1200 AD, thriving in the highlands of Peru, central Peru, to about 1450. The Inca Empire, in its expansionist phase, rose to prominence later, beginning around 1438 AD. Let's just show that they was deadly enemies, right? The primary enemy of the Inca were the Chanca. The Chanca were a powerful chiefdom, and this is what, remember when the Spanish start coming in and dealing with the Inca? This is why they just let them come in. The Inca didn't fight the Spanish at all. They went with whatever they was talking about because the Spanish was helping them to get rid of the Chanca, the indigenous super copper color.
I know, but
they've been the same people.
Hold on. You saying they took this building technique from, which is why you were pulling this up. So what I want you to do is show me Chinca stone masonry, and let's compare them, and let's see what type of stone masonry they use. Techniques.
Okay, hold on. Let's look at it first, because what you're saying is Inca. I'm saying the Inca said was already there when they got there.
I'm saying show me where the Inca said that too.
Yeah,
right here.
You're waiting on that too.
Right here. Now this is just
Yeah, that's AI though.
Let me show you this real quick. Let me just read it, and then I'm gonna go into it. The Inca did not claim to have built all the megalithic structures found.
We don't see nothing. You got to reshare your screen.
Oh, my bad. It's not sharing?
No, I mean you screen sharing the Chinga shit.
Okay, hold on. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay, now let's go look at some of the pre-Inca stuff. Right now, this is the just look at this.
Go to the top. Let me read that top part.
Okay, hold on, but I want to get.
Hold on, go back. I want to read that AI overview right quick.
I'm about to go right back, but I just want to show y'all the difference. This is mega on the right hand side.
This ain't a valuable source. This from Reddit. That's why I said go back.
I understand. Just hold on 1 second, fam. I just want to show y'all the difference in between Inca. Hey, what's that shit up? I just want to show y'all the difference. On the left hand side,
know if that's real Chinga structure because this is from Reddit. That's what I'm trying to say. Reddit just post anything. Reddit is anybody. It's like working. But go to the top of this right here,
so I can just explain what I'm talking about. Right here, like this.
Can you go back to that? Can you go back to the AI overview so I can read that bit, bro?
Yeah, I just want, but yeah, I'm gonna look right here. See this megalithic structure, the big stuff right here in the front. The Inca said that they didn't build this stuff. This is Inca style.
Where did the Inca say that though? I need a source that says that. I need a source that says that. And I need you to go back to the AI overview where it says all that you keep clicking. I want to read that part right here. That part.
Okay. There you go. It said, no, the Inca did not claim to have built all the megalithic structures found at sites like Machu Picchu. While the Inca were skilled stonesmen who built impressive structures, there's evidence suggesting that some of the megalithic structures were already present when they arrived, and they adapted and built upon them. The Inca themselves were not ancient, and their empire flourished between 13th and 16th century, whereas some of the megalithic structures predate them.
Yeah, we know that there was people that came before the Inca, like the Olmec, like the Moshe, like the Maya. You see what I'm saying? They obviously built shit too. You know what I'm saying? So we know they're not the only ones building in the Andes, like Bolivia, Argentina, Peru. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Mexico. Because the Incas had a wide variety of area that they covered. You see what I'm saying? So,
and they built different styles.
I want to see the source where the Inca learned that their masonry from these other people.
No. They got a different style of masonry. For instance, okay. Y'all don't want to look at that picture. Let's go look at
like a proto form of it.
I know, but you said earlier. You said the Incas didn't build that. They took that from somebody else and learned that style from somebody.
Yeah, because there were people there before them.
But they.
I gotta remember something too, man. Especially because of mission work.
Hey, hold on. Hey, real quick. I just want to show y'all the difference in style, right? The megalithic structure is older, right? And you can see the Incan style on top with the smaller bricks. It's not the same thing. You know what I mean? It's a total different style. We're not saying that the Inca didn't build nothing. They were great masons. We're not saying that. We saying they built later on top of some shit that was already.
Your source said that the Inca built megalithic structures, just not all the megalithic structures in the area. That's what your own source just said.
Yeah. So if anything, they were like rival cultures from the same master teachers.
So you can't discredit and say that they didn't build megalithic structures when your source said they did.
Which megalithic
structure? Let me ask another question, right? Be honest, right? If two people build two structures, right? Two different people.
Yeah.
Would they look the same? I'm talking about they could be in the same time. They all could be considered so-called Incan.
Yeah, but Incan is not.
That don't necessarily mean the same. They got the same design. People been unique. We had different styles of masonry, and it was almost like a contest when boys build these kind of monuments.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So they ain't really gonna never look the same. They look more. I mean, a whole Mason idea to prove his work is better than the
Hey,
other
guess
Masons did,
what?
whatever.
The Incas just didn't do one style of masonry. When you read in the American Indian
Exactly.
Encyclopedia, as a matter of fact, let me see what couple techniques that they use. Hold on one second. I'm gonna just go up here and read a couple of them right here. Give me 2 seconds. It was right here, and we're gonna read. So they use look, it said the Incas used stone masons. One of them weighed up to 20 tons. Now, I'm gonna pull that up. Give me 2 seconds. They use cyclone peen, cyclone peen, cellular stonework, rustic masonry. They had like three different types. Paraka stone masonry. They got like 4 different styles of stone masonry that the Incas use.
Man, masonry is masonry.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Everybody dealt with, I mean, the same kinds of masonry. Damn near all over the world. It's distinct based on the material they use to build with. That's how you know where you at. Yeah. Some people try to date the material. How accurate they are, I try not to deal with that.
No, you can't date the material.
I don't subscribe to that. Them crazy dates they be coming up with. But I will say this though, man. When you building it and dealing with masonry, the key word is what kind of material you got in the area. So what are your bricks made of? What a stone you using made of? Where the stone come from? Right. Where it come from? That's the key word. Where it come from?
Oh, they use different type of stone, bro. When you get into the
I understand that. So basically, it's a stone they use to be from the area they're in.
They use limestone. They use basalt. They use granite in some cases. They use quartzite. I mean, I can name one. I got the sources right. Let me
listen, and I'm not denying that. Okay? What I'm saying is, based on what they build, what they use to build, can dictate what part of the earth they're in. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Make these stones. You can actually make these stones on site.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why masonry is one of those occult things, because geometry goes into masonry. And if anything, anything about geometry, it's a sacred language. That 369, that's universal key, that's geometry coded language. So now we're talking about hidden language within the infrastructure of the actual building or structure that's being built. So imagine you build a structure, but your structure is being built to tell a story with an encoded language written in it, with every angle, with every measurement.
That's called stamp work. I mean, they built the building and stamped it.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's kind of like how the Pyramid of the Moon, how it's got acoustic properties, like where you can clap and it makes like a bird sound.
Right. And while the Pyramid of the Moon has that, which a couple of them have those same acoustic properties, but Chichen Itza, what is it? Chichen Itza is the one that's more famously known. But then you got the Pyramid of the Sun, right? AKA Chicxulub.
Oh, yeah.
Chicxulub, right? They call it the Russian Doll Pyramid. Why do they call it the Russian Doll Pyramid? Do anybody know what a Russian doll is?
Yeah, it goes in itself and a bunch of layers that get smaller and smaller.
Russian doll. Yeah, but I'm not sure what they meant then. I know there was no place called Russia back in those days either.
Well, they're giving an example to the modern understanding using consensus or layman terms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like we're not going to say there was a new page. Now see a flying chariot in the sky in 2025, nigga. It was an airplane, gang. You understand what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? So that's how that works. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man, this shit goes deep. But go ahead, y'all. Y'all got the flow.
Yeah. I think there's a way to recover those ancient sciences of megalithic structures. Like, is that something lost, or do y'all believe that the powers that be are just hoarding that information? But then if that's so, why haven't we seen any like new iterations of that same science? Like, we don't line shit up to the stars no more. We don't, you know what I'm saying?
As of when?
I guess I don't know. I guess as of when. Damn, no, you're right. Actually, I didn't even think about it like that. That's true. When did we stop?
Right. Because I don't think people ever really stop focusing on the stars and seasons. And I mean, hell, my granddaddy's whole life pertained to what season it was going to be.
Facts. Hey, happy New Year's to y'all too.
Yeah, for sure. Happy New Year.
Oh, word. Yeah.
So yeah, man, our ancestors depended on time and astronomy and how it affected us dealing with the seasons and shit like that. Much like our ancestors did. Our ancestors were such infatuated, maybe because it was something that was maybe a new. They looked at it from a total lens because obviously they built these huge structures to credit it to understanding the science that they had of the shit above them. You know what I mean? Where things were astronomically aligned, whether it was for the winter or summer equinox or for the summer or fall solstice. You see what I'm saying?
Now the crazy part is I know your statement is true to be true, Bap. And if that's so, then using archaeology or archaeo dating chronology, you dig what I'm talking about? You can line these things up to the times of their solstices to the times that they were built.
Oh yeah, you're right. You can reverse date things.
Do you know Teotihuacan is over 34,000 years old?
Some people estimate 50,000. Well, Chichula, I meant to say.
Yeah,
you talking about astronomical alignment.
Yeah, it's over 55,000.
The pyramids in Egypt gets the date around 14,000 years with our astronomical alignment.
And guess what, Gab? Both older than Göbekli Tepe.
And guess what it lined up with to the Pyramid of the Sun? It's 15 degrees off. The last time that it was 15 degrees off was a little over 24,000 years ago. And and we know this to be fact because the North Pole was in the Hudson Bay at the time, right? And when you line that up, that would have been the building time for the Temple of the Sun. That bitch, it would have been 24. So that's 26,000 years old.
Wait, hold on. Say that again about the North Pole being in the Hudson Bay.
Yeah, the North Pole used to. The North Pole is where it is today. Isn't always where it's been. Every part of the earth has been north. Every part has been south. Every part has been east. Every part has been west. The so-called Great Flood and the Deluge deals with our current wobble of our planet, and it's settling at its current poles. This is how you.
Okay, I was about to ask that because I was going to leave it. Maybe that explains the cataclysms and whatnot. If all these, geographic locations kept shifting.
Yeah, and see, they think it's the poles that shift. It's not the poles. It's the earth under the poles. North is always north.
Oh,
you know what I mean? But this planet, it wobbles and oscillates. You dig what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Every time, like it slows down over time. It just gets old. And just like a marble, when you spin a marble real fast, it'll keep spinning on its top, and then eventually it'll slow down and it'll wobble while it's flowing. Same thing the Earth is doing.
Oh, and because of that wobble, that's where you start getting
what they
messing up, like earthquakes and the water sloshing over, so the floods.
Not only that, the whole misunderstanding of what they call pole shifts. And to my understanding and what my science has showed, that the last time that this happened was only roughly about 24,000 years ago during the Laurentine glacial maximum. That's what actually caused it.
Damn. You know what? That kind of that gives a lot of meat, I guess, to the idea. Like what was like the spark for our ancestors' obsession with the stars? Because a lot of people get into the whole it being aliens thing, and then even more so with white folks, they like to be like, anytime they see our ancient shit, they like to just chalk it up to aliens because they can't imagine dark-skinned people making shit. I think it really was two things. I think our reason for being so obsessed with the stars was one, so that we could hyper optimize everything we were already observing on Earth. Because once we realized the stars kind of, not necessarily the stars, I guess, but like the placement of the sun, certain periods of the year, we realized that there's better times to plant stuff. And then once we had all that stuff down, I think the second reason was after these cataclysms was happening, we were preserving like a cultural memory that was kind of telling their
Well,
ancient ancestors, hey, y'all need to watch out because this shit's gonna happen around this time, and y'all need to be aware of that, so
Well-
y'all can like prepare and make satellite colonies all over the planet.
what if that
In
is
a way,
the
man, I kind of
people
agree with that there
understanding
too.
stars? What if
I
that
got a
is
question though.
what? 1 second. What if that is the whole reason for the understanding of the stars? What if we do serve a great spirit that is fair and he allows people to perceive what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, if only we took the time
And
to
this-
observe his creation, and
this is
not
how-
necessarily inventing science, but just watching his ways.
And this is how in every story you always hear, the people already are prepared for when the cataclysm come. They already moved
Yeah.
before the cataclysm come. And then never mind only the sun. Remember, the creator told us he gave us the sun and the moon to tell time. Just didn't nobody teach us that religions start hiding that knowledge instead of
Right.
teaching.
Hey, did y'all hear about
Bible.
Trump just dropping them bombs on the nuclear plants in
Iran.
Iran?
I
Yes,
just
it's
saw
up.
that. Yeah, man.
It's up, y'all.
Damn,
I got a
it's
question
up.
though, man.
It's up now.
I got a question, Carl, about that theory you were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
What exactly do you mean by the North Pole? When you say the North Pole, according to that theory, when they use that term North Pole,
Yeah, there's
explain what you mean by that. Because
Yeah,
people be
okay.
saying that it's shifting. And according to I guess according to a ball Earth, it would be possible, but according to say a flat Earth with a dome covering it, it would be
Mhm.
impossible.
Well,
Latitude
yeah,
and longitude
I
don't
don't-
really
I don't
move, no
know
matter how
nothing
many times you spin around.
Any of that
You
stuff.
understand?
Yeah, this
But-
is why what they're saying is, no offense, but this is why what they're saying is cap. Because not only do we have a true north, but we also have a magnetic north.
Exactly.
Mm.
And magnetic north move around.
Yeah, but magnetic north is not real true north though. That's why I don't call it true north.
Didn't I
Because
just
you
say
go in the
it's
area,
true
you
north?
go in the area like
But
You
we're
see
talking
what
about
I
the
just said?
cataclysms and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
no, I agree with
magnetic
you. That was
north,
saying.
it's
I agree with
Okay.
you.
Yeah, true north and magnetic north are not the same. And guess what? That can't happen on a flat plane.
Wait,
It
why
depends
not?
where you at though. That can't happen.
All
I
right,
think
then
it
it all.
can happen,
then
though,
it
man.
can
You
And I'm
happen.
be
asking to
upside, up
genuinely
and down.
understand because that's
I
new to
don't-
me. Like
you-
in my
I
head,
don't
I could see
get
it
into
being
them
a
I
ball.
don't
conversations.
really want to have that debate though.
Yeah, I don't want to have that. I don't.
Yeah, I don't really want to have that
low
debate
hanging
though.
fruit. I think it's low
Yeah.
hanging fruit, and I don't argue people's opinions because
Yeah.
I can't never convince you. Because in the end of the day, you're just gonna say, "Well, I don't believe." And
I know,
so-
right? And
Yeah,
like
but
none of
is
us can fly outside.
I know
the
that the
planet
problem
or
is that we trying to sit there and convince each other. I'm not gonna try to convince you. I'm gonna tell you what I heard. You tell me what you
For real.
heard, and we can probably only go into the theory that already been placed before we
only
came
one of us
around.
actually.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's only a
Right.
problem. We try to connect ourselves to somebody else's theory.
Fact.
Yeah, that's
That's
cool.
We don't do that.
If
We
they
don't have no
can
fucking
prove
problem.
their theory- If they can prove their theory, it's cool though. It's good.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Cool.
care if it come from every white person in the world. If it's right, it's right.
I understand what you're saying, but when we stop critically thinking, it changes everything, man. They teach you these shit like this globe earth thing when you're a kid. Too young to really critique the teacher.
Yeah.
And so they teach us these crazy shit though that change over time. The shit I learned when I was in school, my kids went to school, that shit read in pseudo. Same thing
You're
with my
right.
grandkids.
Yeah. That's why I'm not too skeptical when it comes to things like that.
So when
that
it
I'm
comes
not
to
really
that thing
aware
they
of.
call science, man, we gotta be careful because science does not equate the truth.
Yeah.
Well, observing of nature is science, right?
Right.
Well,
So nature or spirituality or the shit you can't see outside in nature and
Mhm.
science would be the same thing, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
similar and it's theoretic though.
No,
Because
I mean,
science, whatever model they use is based on somebody's philosophy.
Yeah.
No,
And that particular philosopher, might
I mean-
not be correct in the whole,
it's
you know what I
based
mean?
on the philosophy of science, the test.
I know, but science is not on philosophy, science is jurisdiction.
I'm saying
Whatever you read is based on whatever group or whatever person that put that organization that put that particular theory out or that book out that speaks on that theory.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
they
it's,
get their information from one particular philosopher, the way he do or the way he claim to happen.
Mm.
There's many different
so
philosophers out there.
that leads to the more proof that if one person is just saying one thing, he's probably more likely wrong than he is right. Correct?
You can't say because the might be right.
No, but what I'm saying is he probably more likely wrong though, right? If he trying to force his view,
It depends on the situation though.
Yeah,
It depends.
that's
Listen,
possible.
you can have a scientist come out right now. They're telling real information, but connecting us to some shit they don't want to connect it to. So all these other scientists can start coming out critiquing you.
Well,
Because they don't want that kind of information out. Even though so that don't necessarily mean that one person lying.
Religion has always done that.
We talk about science, though. We ain't talking about religion.
No, but listen,
No, we're
science
talking
has
about
always been
religion kills all
religious.
sciences.
Science is religious in nature. It operates off of
Right.
political motivations.
No.
So if the
And
base of the
I'm-
philosophy for a lot of those things, at least we're talking about like Western science anyways, not science as a field of like using the scientific method or anything like that, but you know, the mindset of a lot of stuff we just believed at face value and then we learn, now we have to unlearn a lot of that shit, like with
Yeah.
history. I get what you mean.
The reason why I say the difference is, man, because religion is based on somebody's fact, according to the fact. Science is
but
theory.
I'm not talking about religion. I'm
So
talking
it's
about
different.
science and spirituality. Spirituality, I'm just saying they do the same thing. Objectively,
But they're synonyms,
do
though.
the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
I get what you're saying. It's got the same function, but they got different methods of coming to the same conclusion. That
Yeah,
hey,
I
we can
mean-
observe something and then extrapolate that.
It's all
to, like,
about how
looking into
somebody
a higher
interpret the
science.
word goddamn breath.
No, or it's just simply man trying to explain the unseen cause behind everything that he sees. That's
I can
what
get behind
science
that. Of course it is.
does, and that's
Of
what
course it is.
spirituality does.
Yeah.
Of course it is. But that man came to have the information brought to him from another or some kind of different way. It's not his, theory. It's a fact that was told to him. He telling somebody else. That's what religion based on. Science is based on somebody's theory.
No, it's not. It's okay, but it don't matter.
I know. I'm saying that's the difference between science and religion.
But
They use science
all
to defeat religion.
information all information comes from outside man into man. He didn't just poof and it was in him and E equals MC squared. No, that's not how it works. All information comes from outside. Right? This is why your environment is important. Because
Man, listen.
how you think, how you are, what you do, your tendencies.
Bro, let's get back on track, bro. I understand what you're trying to say. Well, I'm not against you. Let's keep on with the conversation. But we getting stuck back and forth trying to say which one is right and wrong, and it's about to end up seeming like we debating each other instead of going on with the bill.
Bro, it's just different ways of looking at it.
Exactly, and I agree with that.
See, this is what you got to understand. I'm not like a lot of these niggas. I'm not trying to lord my information over. This is why when you ask me something, I always give it. I'm never trying to hold no information because I understand I got this information free. So the more I give it free, right? Whether you believe it or not, the more I give it free, the more I get. So you dig what I'm talking about? This is why I always I take teaching serious. You know what I mean? And
we're building though right now.
But what I'm saying is we build it, and that ain't about big me and little Darvis. That ain't no. This about being able to see it from Cosmon way, to see it from Bat way, Smoke way, and Darvis way. And then let yourself make up the decision.
But right now you're the leading chair. So I'm asking you a question based on the philosophy. The theory you came up a little while ago. That's why I asked about which way was true north. We got sideways. The North Pole because you used the term North Pole and shifting the North Pole and the pole shifting and all that. I want you to qualify what you mean by pole and north.
Okay.
That was it. I wanted to get back into the bill.
Okay.
We don't want to 30 years outside the bill. I ain't want to fuck the bill up. It got me curious.
Okay. Well, let me help you. There is actually a literal pole in the north. A literal pole called the North Pole. You ain't even got to believe it. Man, put it there. It is the center of the ice mass on top of, or on the, not top, but on our planet. In the northern part of our planet. You dig what I'm talking about? Ain't no top on the ball. But you dig what I'm saying? So but there is a magnetic north that moves around true north. It don't stay still. You dig what I'm talking about? And the proof of that is that on certain nights, you can see the aurora borealis, right? Especially over the mountains, because that's what's being magnetized.
Yeah, but it's just light being reflected certain ways. You understand that, though, right?
I don't believe that. I believe it is ionized material in the air. It's the same thing that produces bright ass light in the day. It's just dimmed down through all the material not being polarized properly.
Oh,
Not polarized. So
it's
it gives
acting like a
pretty
filament, like a
colors
light
in the
bulb.
night.
Yeah,
So
there's the light just reflecting off these different gases and all that is in there.
That makes so much sense.
They dense enough that the light that got there reflect off them, and they make different shades, different colors or whatever at a certain time.
Okay. So you're saying
Yeah.
where the aurora
But that'd be
borealis
like
and
reflecting off
northern
time.
lights is?
Yeah, like a rainbow.
Where a magnetic pole would be?
Like a super rainbow.
this the dope part though. By the strength of wherever you at the magnetism is, are the colors in the sky. So if you got a more
what angle you're looking at it.
Right, if you get the more redder colors, the color is probably more light. The magnetism is less. You dig what I'm talking about? But when you get them bright greens and yellows and bright blues and all that stuff, them be the higher magnetism. You dig what I'm talking about? And it give off color, per the electromagnetic spectrum.
According to
science.
I know science is the bigger term. Who theory is that though? I know what scientists came up with that theory though.
The term of science that shows that, because all of it works together. You did
understand that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying what scientists came up with the theory.
I heard what you said.
Cool. My bad.
I heard what you said. What I'm saying is that science is called data sonification, where it's where just elements make noise, and from that noise you get light, or what's called spectra. This is a whole science. Data sonification. Sound making, noise, light, all that shit.
All right, cool. So according to that particular science, would you say there's other scientists that may disagree with them? So I'm talking about that particular area you talk about, the light spectrum we talked about earlier.
No, you can't. It's already been proven. It's a whole science.
But don't make it proven though. If it was proven, it wouldn't be a science. It'd be a fact.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely proven. That's why it's a science. Data sonification is real. Just like sonoluminescence is real. Just like cymatics is real. It is science.
It's the study of that, man. And it's based on a model.
Yeah, it's real.
That's how all science is. It's not facts.
But
when we call science, it's facts.
It being a model doesn't invalidate whether it's useful or not.
Mama.
Yeah, it's based on factual things in nature. You dig what I'm talking about? They know that they're facts. They were just able to prove it. Now they have a science to study it further. But it's absolutely data science.
I say the science, the studying of it, right?
Yes, all science is the study of everything.
All right, cool. But I don't make it fact then if you're studying it.
No, the whole point of science is to debunk itself.
Yeah, so it's constantly debunking itself.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
that's what makes it the most accurate.
Can truth be debunked though?
Truth can't.
All right, cool. So the truth, you can't debunk truth. You question it.
But how do you get to a point of truth without negating everything that's not true? Like there's still a figuring out process along the way getting to that definitive truth.
Cool, I understand what you're saying. That's a good question.
Someone will have a model and then get rid of it, and then the better one will come out, and it'll repeat forever because we'll never get to a point to where everything's absolute and everything's solved. Because then that's just going to create another wave of figuring out, hey, is that true after all? And it repeats itself.
But if it's objective, it is axiomatic, can be proved, has been proved, has substance, weight, character, length. You dig what I'm talking about? And is objective. Well, then it just is also. And
I
how
get you.
the
Yeah,
science,
like
how you
childbirth.
get to understanding it, I don't think is the bad part. You know what I mean? I think when you have to pigeonhole yourself, what Darvis is saying, into another nigga's ideal of what it's going to be in the end, is when you sell yourself short.
Yeah, and that's where we say that's when it stops being science. At that point, that's why I say science is religious. Because once you start taking models and then going, well, we're gonna do a new search, and oh shit, it actually doesn't fit what we thought, and then they double down on that ignorant shit anyways, and then keep, putting studies that are clearly false. Then yeah, it's not science no more, man.
Yeah,
And the
cool. So
models
now,
that they make after the
Yeah.
fact don't matter.
I
all
agree.
right, cool. But listen, though, when we start talking about the difference between science and religion are two different things.
We're not talking about
Religion is based on some facts. Religion is based on truth. Misinterpreted maybe, yes, but it's based on truth.
I think
Science came about to try to critique it or learn it
I
or
think
try to debunk it.
I think
That's where science came from. The stem and all this other shit. Though religion and science ain't the same thing.
I
Science
think
is a method.
No,
It's not even
No,
an actual
science
goddamn
is not-
religion is a
religion.
belief,
Yeah.
bro.
Religion is observing
Yeah,
of these
it's a
motherfucking
belief.
stars, this universe, these constellations, and how they affect you. That's what all religion is based on. No. That's not a belief. That's actual truth. That's actual faith. Actual time.
It's not
Yeah,
objective.
I know, but it's not a belief though.
It is belief.
Maybe no.
believing in
Because if it's talking about the observance of all the universe, came. Why do they got these pyramids out there in the first
Let
place?
me ask you a question.
How come there been a temple on top of each one of them?
Hold on. To be a Christian, do you have to believe in Jesus?
I'm not a Christian. You cannot
Listen to my question.
religion is Christian,
Listen to
brother.
my question.
I don't know. I'm not a
To
Christian.
be a Christian, okay.
Man, you gotta ask a Christian that, bro.
To be an MST of A more, do you have to believe in Noble Drew Ali?
They don't believe in no man. But to be there, you probably see you in the if you're in the MSTA, yes, you in that.
No,
Yes.
nigga, do you believe in Allah, my nigga? Do you believe in Allah? Do you believe in Allah?
Man, I don't deal with belief, man.
brother, you're being
Get your
pedantic.
words right,
Just
man.
answer the question.
I'm of the
Do you
Most
believe
High.
in the Most High?
Listen,
Do you
yeah,
believe in
we
the
use
Most
the word.
High?
You got remember these words got definition to them.
Stop dancing.
All right. No, you use the term belief. I don't listen. I told you what I subscribe to. That's what I deal with. I don't deal with belief.
All right.
What do you subscribe to?
So have the conversation with me, right?
That there's a creator out there, and I subscribe to that. They have many different names.
Listen, to be a Muslim, do you have to believe that Allah exists?
I imagine so, but that's not what a Muslim is.
Well, what we're proving to you is that religion is subjective.
No, that don't make it subjective, man. What the fuck you mean?
Oh
my God.
Come on, man. Stop that. The Muslims don't worship him. The Muslims, they worship the Most High.
They worship Allah.
Cool. We understand these terms, right? These terms are interchangeable, depending on where you at, what language you're speaking. Still talking about the Creator. We understand that, right?
No, we don't.
That's
well,
a belief.
maybe you need to get that right.
Well,
maybe you need to get that part right. Maybe you need to find a Muslim and talk to him, okay?
Hey, Darvin.
How you get a better understanding about it?
Darvin.
What's that?
Do all the people that do all the religions, whether they believe or facts, do they all have a aren't they all theologians?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man. Why the fuck are you asking about all religions? You know how many different religions it is, nigga? That's a stupid loaded question made for kids. I'm grown. That's not a fuck. Come on, man. Let's do that. Break something else down. Come on, a better question, man.
Okay,
again, man.
The religion. Let me ask him a better question than that. The religions that you understand, because you say you a Moor, so that's Allah, and you a Hebrew. So in them two religions, do them have theologians go off thesis and stuff?
Say it again, bro. Do they go off of what?
Do the two religions that you believe in? Do the religions you believe in, are they like are the people that bring it to us theologians, and do they have theories and thesis?
Man, you understand what the thesis is, right?
Man, who cares what it is? Can you answer the question and then tell me?
I know, because it don't make no fucking sense. How can all religions have a thesis? You understand what the word thesis means?
So you telling me that no?
No, I'm saying it, King. Get your
Oh
dictionary.
my God,
Just ask the
man.
question right.
This
Because
is
I
what
always
I'm
don't know what the
saying.
thesis
Okay,
is. What the fuck that got to do with
okay,
religion, bro?
this is what I'm gonna say. All religions and all science, when it don't go past a theory or a thesis, turns into a belief because it's
belief.
not a fact.
Yep,
So
it's
I'm
subjective.
agreeing that I'm gonna land my plane. I'm agreeing that science can be a religion when you just stuck on a theory or a thesis without
Yes.
doing the fact though, and I digress. That's it, man.
I say the problem is your model, King. You came up with a model that was wrong. And you based a religion off of that model you came up that you know was wrong. Come on, bro.
Let me ask you a
Okay.
question, Darvis. Let me ask you a
Science
question.
is
This will, hey, Root, let me get it real quick. This will prove that it's subjective. Can a Christian on Monday be a Muslim on Tuesday, a Buddhist on Wednesday, and a Brahminist on Thursday?
Why are you asking me about a Christian, bro? I'm not a Christian.
I'm not asking
And
you.
I'm so cool.
I'm not asking you. Are you? Are you a Hebrew?
Yes, just like you.
Okay,
But it's not.
can you
Hebrew is
be a
not religion,
Hebrew?
though, bro.
Okay, because if you can't think outside of yourself, let me just
But
talk.
I think outside of myself.
Can you?
But the questions are loaded, and the
Can
seems
you
like a
be?
good
Can you
question.
be? Can you be a Moorish person on Monday? MST of A, Mufti on Monday, and then turn around and be a Hebrew on Tuesday.
Now you finished.
I'm asking you. Can you?
All right, cool. Moorish. Notice the suffix in the motherfucker, idiot. Now, the MSTA Moor, the people of the MSTA, those people in no temple, they call themselves Moors. So if we
That a
search
yes or a
it,
no?
nigga, the answer would be Moorish. I
Is that
yes,
a yes?
yes, no. Let me get the last one out. Let me get the last one out. Give me 1 second.
Hey,
Give me
Darvis.
quiet. Give me 1 second. Let me get the last
Okay.
one out. Right quick, man. Damn. Anyway,
Yes,
and then
yes,
after
no.
the last part, the Hebrew thing. All
Can you
these
be a
Hebrews
Hebrew and then
were
change
called
into a
Moors,
Muslim the
King.
next day,
So
bro?
yes, you can be
Hey.
all three of them. You will
Hey,
automatically be all three of them.
Listen.
It can be.
You're crazy, man.
Yes or
No,
no?
y'all is ignorant. If you
Yes
give me
or
1
no?
second, I can explain it. Give me 1 second, I can explain it to you. Because obviously y'all got an issue
No,
with
just
that
say
problem.
yes or no. We
I
don't.
no, it's not a yes or no answer. It's
Just
not a
say
yes or
yes.
no answer.
It's
It's
literally
not
a
a
yes
yes
or
or
no
no answer.
answer.
No, it's not a yes or no
We're
answer.
not
Listen,
even
man.
saying
Say
we're
it,
a
know what the
religion,
question for
man.
the
He's
idiots,
not trying
man.
to set you up, bro.
Listen, since he
The
can't keep it
question
100,
is,
he can't keep
What
it
type of
100.
stupid
Yes,
ass
the
question was
question
that,
is.
man?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. What kind of stupid ass question was that? That's a good question. What kind of stupid ass question was that?
No,
Ask the question
because
again, King, and I answer it if I can.
the proof is it is subjective. It's all about your belief. If I want to be an Israelite on Monday, I am. If I want to be a Christian on Tuesday, I